Alright. We can look at the honors with a U. Alright.
I have hit.
Alright, Bailey, so before we start...
Yes.
Do you think that this game will also have the bad 1600s British accent?
We found him, Mr. Holmes. We found him.
Who's that?
Dr. Bumblebee. He's been locked up by the bobbies, but they've let him loose. Oi, he was looking round like a rat who's scared of his own shadow. He's gonna do a run at years.
Watson, this is our chance. The game is afoot. Let's hope that Tumblety will go to collect his trunk. As for you, my little friends, thank you for lifting this burden.
Yes.
I think this one will probably have better graphics because it was released 3 years after the other one.
I mean, that's a fair assumption.
I'm not necessarily gonna have like a bunch of faith for it to be like amazing graphics, but like I think it'll be a little bit better, I think.
Yeah.
And when I was looking at the reviews yesterday, all of the other Sherlocks that I have go between 200 and 300 reviews, but this one had almost 2,000 reviews, so something tells me this one's actually really good. But that could just be because of the fact that this one's newer and people just were more drawn to a newer game rather than to try an old one.
That's fair.
But I got it part of a bundle, so I got them all. Alright. So let's, and did you want me to keep streaming to Discord so you can see my puzzles real time, or do you want me to just put it on?
Oh, that is a good point as to why I'd have Discord.
Yes. Because I don't think that your stream would get too far behind, but there are some times that your stream gets like 5 minutes behind, so...
It's already so far behind.
Okay, then I will keep this here. Alright. Alright, let's get going. New. Yes, I do want to start a new game. That's a very extravagant, what is it called? Fish tank. Thank goodness. Well, this is some interesting sounds that I wasn't expecting. Okay. Okay.
I definitely don't have game audio, just because I want it. I don't want, like, overlapping sound, I think.
Whatever works for you.
Yeehaw!
Oh, maybe there's not overlapping sound, but I still can't hear.
Yeehaw?
Oh.
Well, besides this ugly child, it seems to be better graphics, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look like better graphics to me, but that just might be the stream quality on Discord.
That does happen. Oh, whoops. Sorry.
I mean, I'm gonna grab my Mountain Dew real quick. You enjoy your cutscene.
What's this? No. Baba. Boop boop. La la la.
Yeah, something fun chilling.
That was a little bit of lag, but that's okay.
Ooh.
Well, that looks weird.
Oh, look! It's a book! Maybe it's a book about pirates with a treasure map.
Maybe.
No, I don't think so. I wish that I had seen through all your lies. Oh, start from the beginning, not the middle. And so I decided to pick up my pen to relate the most disturbing episode of my life thus far.
It all began early one morning in 1898, when Sherlock Holmes invited me to accompany him on a visit to the Marquis of Conyngham.
Sherlock looks strange in this one.
Watson, my dear fellow, we can now go and inform the Marquis that we have found the Samoan necklace, and very
he
much
looks
faster than Inspector Baines.
Graphics-wise,
which
he looks
pleases me.
nice, but he
Have
looks
you
weird.
really solved the theft, Holmes? And so quickly?
I have indeed, Watson, and believe me, it was completely unnecessary to spread out all over London, as our friend Baines thought was best. He likes to boast that his methods are equal to mine, but once again the outcome has contradicted him.
After all these years of accompanying you upon your investigations, I thought that by now I should be reasonably capable of following your train of thought. But in this particular case, I must admit that I don't understand anything at all.
Ah, you see, but you do not observe, Watson. There lies the difference. It is a matter of course.
A matter of course? In the middle of the night, when everyone is fast asleep, the service bell within that room rings out and alerts the servants. They dress quickly and come running, but the door is locked and there is a strong smell of burning from within. A few seconds later, the master of the house himself, the robbed Marchioness's husband, the Marquis of Conyngham, arrives and unlocks the door using the sole key. A fire has started inside the room, but they have managed to arrive in time to put it out. It is at that moment that the Marquis realizes that the famous Samoan necklace, which had been safe within its glass cabinet only a few hours earlier, has now disappeared.
In order to explain, let us confirm my theory before the arrival of Inspector Baines.
That was a lot of information, that's all I gotta say. Also, Bailey, your message of, are your chat things up, really threw my brain off when I was reading it originally.
Your
but
on-screen
yes.
chat box.
Yes. Well, my on-screen chat box, no, because I never did that on OBS. That was a thing on Slobs, but not on this one.
You can transfer over all of the stuff from Slobs.
I know, I just haven't. Also, so I see that there's a black line on the bottom for some reason right here, and I don't know why. Why is there a black line going all over the place here? That looks weird. Alright. So my Sherlock and everyone else certainly do look much more graphics. Interesting. I definitely think two things. I definitely want my thing for my hand because my mouse is too low right now. Nice. Resituate all of myself. This mouse sensitivity is still really low, even though I turned it up.
Huh. Odd.
Look at the broken showcase.
It's a cut, but this is like the thinnest fucking bacon I've ever seen.
You know, that does happen.
This window was cut with a diamond. A clean, discreet piece of work. This is where the necklace was.
See how tiny the hole is, and not one fingerprint upon the window.
I am going to turn down these voices just a skosh because it is a little much in my ear holes.
That's fair. Also, is there like a setting for like mouse sensitivity that you could look into as well?
There sure is. Thanks for reminding me.
Even more.
Turn it all the way max.
God.
Turn it max. Save. Yeah, sure. Overwrite the existing game that just existed. Alright. Okay, I clicked E on accident. Okay. Okay, well this mouse sensitivity is definitely better. It's not amazing, but like it's definitely better. But I don't think I need this.
As well, so.
I would say I don't think this is a shooter game, so I don't think I need to have the best mouse sensitivity.
You don't need speed.
Yes.
Speed is not key.
Sherlock would probably tell me that being slow and meticulous is much better anyway. Okay, I tried my sixth sense of spacebar, and it's currently not doing anything. Cool.
Huh.
Near the
Bacon and
little
pickles.
window?
Yeah, chips and salsa.
I mean, you say the left window, but this was kind of to my right. I have to enter examination mode while I'm in the multi-zone. Okay. I'm not entirely sure what clues you think I'm looking at, but okay. What clues are you telling me to be looking at, exactly? I'm a little confused. Bailey, I'm already confused.
Well, so am I, so...
Because it said to go over next to the window where I could see both clues, and I assumed that was supposed to be like the fireplace and, you know, the one thing I've examined. But I have to switch cursor between items. Oh, I can scroll through matches and a knife. At least that's still a thing.
This window was cut with a...
See how tiny...
Okay. I'm gonna go over next to the window and I can click on the window and it just didn't show me that before, like a fucking dick.
All the windows are locked. They've not been forced.
Good to know, but I do see that there's a bit of a cut on this window.
A mark, undoubtedly made by a diamond. Someone tried to cut the glass, but he was interrupted.
Therefore, the thief tried to escape through the window, but he was interrupted.
I cut through the window to escape. Why can't you just unlock the window?
Exactly, that's why I'm just like, wouldn't they have tried to get in through the window, but then was interrupted? I feel like it was an in through the window, not an out through the window. Go to the chimney. You'll see a hand icon with a magnifying glass. I'll take it. But I'm already investigating things. Do I really need it? Seems like that's something I would just already have, but okay.
God, these blueberries are so sour.
Alright, so I can open my inventory by clicking the right mouse button while playing. You can always activate any of my items from my inventory by rolling the center wheel. Okay. Cool.
This window...
Cool. Okay. Congrats. I have the things that I knew I had. Now what? Near the piano, there's some music scores on the floor. Okay, I don't know why you're telling me to go. Why can't you just let me go around and look?
Let us examine the crumpled scores that have fallen off the piano.
Okay. There's a lot of notes.
Nothing of interest here.
Cool. I'm glad
These
there's nothing
sooty
of interest.
prints were left by a tiny hand.
By a tiny hand?
Why these music scores are covered with soot.
What? I did not see a tiny hand on there, but okay.
Were we burglarized by a child?
Maybe. But also, just so we remember, my Sherlock here does turn like a boat.
Yeah.
I don't know why they really want me to fucking look at everything so much. To make a character move faster? Yeah, I already know that. Did you not just see me run around the room? The Sixth Sense. Yes, I was already going to check out this very fancy seahorse aquarium. Oh, my headphones are low on their battery. Let me plug them in.
How rude of them.
I know. When I turned them on, they said medium, and now all of a sudden it's low.
Well, of course.
Alright, so now let's inspect this. Not expect. Let's inspect this very obnoxiously grandiose fish tank.
Not very well kept, this aquarium. I can see a dead fish floating on the surface.
Congrats. I mean, technically, just because there's a dead fish does not mean that they didn't just die. Just saying.
This draught screen makes an ideal hiding place.
As the theft was committed at night, I conclude that the thief hid himself behind the draught screen and waited until he was alone in the room. Strange, there aren't any prints. yet I'm sure that the thief hid here.
Wait, he sees shit next to that fucking chair?
No, he said that there isn't any prints.
Oh, okay.
But the
I was
problem...
putting away my chips and salsa, so...
I'd say the problem with his logic is that he's expecting them to have already had all the soots on their feet, when I'm pretty sure that they hid over here, waited, went over here, grabbed the thing, somehow set the fire, and then fucked up all over here, and then, I don't know, left somehow. Head first through the window or something.
Well, the window's not broken, so they obviously didn't go head first through the window.
I know, but they could have actually opened it, like a smart person.
What if they climbed up through the chimney?
You mean out? Or in? You just said up, and I was like, I don't think up is
they
the
left
way.
through the chimney.
They could have. That would explain why there's only footprints here, but I don't know. Well, let us inspect.
Footprints? You are not going to get on your knees to examine them?
There is no need. It is soot. The servants must have trodden in it while they were putting out the fire.
Ah, the servants.
The footprints are the fucking...
he is saying that the servants put out the fire with their feeties, and that's why there's all these footprints here. But technically, how do we know that it doesn't belong to the guy?
Heading towards his chosen escape route, probably the window, the thief knocked over the stool, which then caught fire.
But why didn't he try to put the fire out at once?
Because he wanted a distraction.
I still think he went out through the chimney.
He could have.
It was a child.
I don't know.
I'll be right back. My sister said that.
There are some objects here that have been knocked over.
Congrats. There are some objects that have been knocked over. Okay. So a door and the things on the table. I think that's everything else? Yeah.
These documents are not very interesting, even though they're addressed to the Minister of Maritime Affairs.
The Marquis himself.
The Marquis himself. Okay, so my face is not in the way of this, but it is in the way of whatever because whenever I do my space here, there's a little face that flashes. Little Sherlock face that flashes. And it is, it randomly flashed when that, sound went.
What do you think, Holmes?
Let us search the room before the police get here. We might throw some light onto all this.
If I knew it would be pointless to talk to you, I wouldn't have done it.
When the servants arrived at the door, having been alerted by the bell, they saw evidence of the theft and the fire, but they didn't see the thief.
This door is very hard to force. The Marquis is the only person to have the key. The thief could not get out through here until eventually, when the door was opened by the servants.
Okay, so I've inspected everything. Oh no, there's still another window that I have to look at. What about this one?
The windows are locked. They've not been forced.
You want me to look at that one?
The windows are locked. They've not been forced.
Cool. I'm glad that you tell me that all the windows have been locked, but yet you don't, show that I've already looked at all of the windows, since you told me all of the windows.
The fire started here, just beneath the bell pull.
Whoever pulled the cord would have had his feet in the fire, unless it was pulled before the fire started.
Which is an option. I can't actually... Is there actually a bell up there? I don't see one. I wonder if that string goes somewhere. I don't know where the bell is. Okay. Alright, let me stand in the corner. Gander at some things. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot that the corner... little corner thing. I think that's the last thing, though? What is this?
The chest wasn't open.
A chest.
The necklace wasn't in it.
I was thinking it was a safe because of Skyrim, but I wasn't sure. Okay. I think I've looked at everything. Ah, there's still a thing on the floor. What are you?
A candle. It must have fallen from the chandelier.
A chandle?
Ah,
There we
Mr.
go.
Holmes. You're already here.
Here we go.
Good morning, Inspector. You've arrived just in time.
Scotland Yard arrives like the cavalry, always in the nick of time. Ah, but I know that satisfied expression, Mr. Holmes. Have you already solved the case?
It's possible.
We have retraced the thief's rather unusual footsteps. He is a true acrobat. But what I cannot understand is that when the servants entered the room, there was no one to be seen. An acrobat, perhaps, but an invisible one? I do not think so.
I
The
do
only
not think
explanation
so.
is that the thief escaped before the servants arrived. I don't know how, but there is no other way.
Half a point for the doctor, nil for the inspector.
I'm pleased to see that you find the situation amusing, Mr. Holmes. Very well then, explain.
He'd
Dr.
love to.
Watson was correct when he mentioned acrobatics, but he is mistaken about the nature of the acrobat. As for you, Baines, you're quite incorrect, as the thief was in the room when the servants entered.
Explain, for heaven's sake, Mr. Holmes.
Watson, how could a thief be missed in the middle of 8 men?
I don't know. Because he is very small? Stop teasing us, Holmes.
Exactly, because he is small and remarkably agile.
You're thinking of a monkey?
And a trained monkey at that, without a doubt, a Leontopithecus rosalia from Central America. The animal had been hidden inside the room for several hours, calmly awaiting the signal from his master. Once night had fallen and the room was empty, a high-frequency whistle alerted the monkey that it was time to begin the procedure for which he had been trained.
Oh.
The
What did I
monkey
miss?
emerged from
Just
the
a second.
fireplace and used the point of a diamond to open the glass cabinet and steal the necklace. He headed across to the window by the chimney, but knocked over the stool, which in turn knocked aside the fire guard and started the fire. The frightened monkey jumped from the chimney by swinging from the bell pull, thus alerting the house servants. He then went to the window and began to use his diamond to cut a hole, but was interrupted by the staff trying to gain entry via the door, and he panicked again. He ran across the piano, scattering the music scores onto the floor, before hiding inside the chandelier, knocking over a candle. Finally, the servants and the Marquis entered the room, leaving the door open while they put out the fire. It was during the confusion that our agile little thief made his escape through the doorway. As simple as that.
A brilliant explanation. Bravo, Holmes. And the necklace?
I can see it from here, my friends. It's right in front of us.
We have searched the room from top to bottom, Holmes. How were we unable to find it?
Because we paid insufficient attention to the only victim of this affair.
You know, that was what I was thinking.
No one is dead?
Yes, Watson. A poor goldfish whose destiny was to die, crushed by one of the most precious necklaces in England.
The aquarium is just beneath the chandelier. I understand.
The little monkey had likely hung the necklace around its neck and lost it when he leapt from the chandelier. The jewels fell into the aquarium, where they remain now.
I could have just found them if you actually rendered them.
Yeah. You want to know what's funny is I hear the game audio and I hear the sound effects, but I don't hear them talking.
Marquis, here is your necklace.
That's weird.
Intact.
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume that their voices are coming through the stream.
Thank you so much, Marquis. Do you wish to verify the
Sure they are.
authenticity of your jewel?
I just don't think they're coming through Discord.
That's weird.
Many hours admiring it, you know.
Good. I will return it to its box and...
Inspector, a bank has just been held up. You must follow me at once. Orders of Scotland Yard.
What times? Sirs, duty calls. My regards, Marquis. And well done again, Mr. Holmes.
Do you have to solve any puzzles
There,
without me?
the necklace is in its box.
Nope.
We've
I just had to
got
figure out
time
where
here.
all the
Let's go home, Watson.
things I had to click on.
Ah, very well, as you wish. A good day to you, Marquis.
With pleasure, gentlemen. And once again, thank you.
Well, Karen got an air fryer, so we have an entirely air-fried dinner tonight.
Fancy.
So we got French fries and fried pickles and
Fun.
panko chicken.
I don't like Holmes's eyes. They're too open.
Yeah.
this morning's newspaper. Holmes, have you read this article about you?
No, Watson, not yet, and I won't have time to.
Read it before you leave.
The music is so ominous by itself.
If you insist.
It is. Alright. I am auto-saving. How fun. Look at all these shoes. Look at these little slippers.
Oh my goodness.
Nice. Interesting. Why do I have my knife equipped? There we go. I would like to go in here. I do think it's interesting that they have like the same room still as the other Sherlock game with the same bullet holes and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know why my little Sherlock face makes a noise occasionally. I don't know what their point is about that.
No, either.
With my little investigative cap. Nice. Look at this house. It looks so similar to the old one. Oh, and outside actually looks extremely familiar to the other game, except better looking. Interesting.
Better rendered.
I thought we were gonna be like in a different era, but no. Because their British accents were so much less obnoxious than the first one. I thought that it was going to be more of a
why
modern.
it's so highly rated.
I was thinking that it would be a bit more modern because of its not horrible accents.
My God, that is such
Dramatic music.
dramatic music.
For me just walking around my apartment peacefully.
Oh,
But it's okay. It's dramatic, and I like it.
very dramatic.
Well, the main thing that I see a difference in for the other game to this one is that we don't have 17 mannequins with all of our clothing.
Well, that's good. That was creepy.
I like how Holmes was, or Sherlock, I mean, was just like, let me read this newspaper. I see that you're reading it currently, but I'm just gonna take it. Alright.
True.
So, Globe Explorer. Hopefully I can read better this time. It seems like they chose a easier to read font. They still have the space in between lines at -5, but, you know. Alright, so Sherlock Holmes at the home of the Marquess? How do you say that?
Marquess.
Is it? I'm like, I don't know fancy words.
They spelled it wrong, but yes.
Oh, did they? What about the Collingham? Is that spelled wrong?
I don't know, but Marquess is spelled with a U-I, not a U-E-S-S.
Maybe they were trying...
And it's a gender-neutral term, so...
Maybe they didn't realize that, so they were trying to say, like, instead of the heir, it's the heiress type of thing. So it's the Marquess.
Dumbasses.
The investigation is a fiasco. Yesterday, the celebrated detective Sherlock Holmes was invited to the manor of the Marquess of Collingham to supply his collusions. Yes, collusions.
Well, we're starting off well.
Hey, there's an L in that word and I moved it. It's collusions now.
Forgot an N, so...
No, I just took the N out, moved the L. Following his investigation into the disappearance of the priceless Samoan necklace, it should be recalled that the lady called in... I don't like that they put called twice so quickly. It should be recalled that the lady called in the detective after the police appeared flummoxed? Who says flummoxed?
Basically flabbergasted.
Why not say flabbergasted?
Because it's the 1800s, bro.
Well, it is the 1800s. The original was 1600s.
1895.
The original was 1600s. So I guess we have aged 200 years. But same old, I guess, in this back alley. They have flummoxed in the face of the astonishing circumstances surrounding the theft. Indeed, the valuable piece of jewelry disappeared while the door to the room in which it was displayed was locked. The alarm was raised by the servants, alerted by the room's service bell, ringing out during the night. When the Marquis, there you go.
Yes, that is the correct spelling. That's the correct spelling.
The only person in possession of the key opened the door. Everyone rushed in to extinguish the fire that had started. Before it was noticed that the necklace had mysteriously vanished, or that there was a mysterious fire that mysteriously started in the middle of this room. You know.
There was a mysterious monkey on the chandelier.
Mysteriously killing the fish in my goldfish tank.
Mysteriously.
Very mysteriously. Meanwhile, I'm just like, this ornate, extravagant as fuck fish tank was the first thing I was gonna look at. So if they would have just rendered the necklace in there, I would have seen it. Oh, goodness.
Oh, they gotta be all dramatic and be like, you can't see this.
I mean, as you'll have seen from my questioning face, I was like, yeah, I know that there was small hands on the piano scores, but like, how the heck did you deduce that there was a monkey in here exactly? Out of everything, how like, how would you think that was
Why
what
a
it
monkey?
was? Why a monkey? Because it technically could have still just been a child who went and hid behind the thingy, whatever the fuck they called it. They called it some weird name, so I don't remember what they called it. And then just waited for everything to cool down, and then, you know, they left.
It's like a dressing screen or something like that.
Something like that. I don't remember what word they used. But anyway, apparently it was a monkey.
It's a monkey.
It was a monkey. Yes. Alright, let's see, where was I? The most astonishing factor is that no thief was found within the room, and all the exits were closed. As usual, Mr. Holmes resolved the case in the twinkling of an eye, and the jewel was recovered.
The language.
You know? I will not waste my time on the various explanations as to the disappearance, because I would prefer...
Sure, you're good.
I'm just putting wrong emphasis on the wrong syllables. Because I would prefer to draw your attention, dear readers, to the last supervising developments in the case. Following the departure of Sherlock Holmes, who placed the necklace in the safe himself, the Marquis noticed that the jewel was nothing but a poor copy of the original. Let it not be forgotten that the Samoa necklace, although plain and without ornament, is unique because of the rarity of its pearls. Pearls which are found only in a small part of the lagoon of the archipelago of the same name. Of what name?
Minoan.
Oh, I see. I was like, I don't know what name that you're referring to.
Samoan, sorry. Samoan, not Minoan. Minoan is an island as well.
That's funny. and to which scientists attribute their exceptional quality to the strong density of the crystal of aragonite that they are made of. The priceless necklace brought here at the beginning of the century by Lord Farquhar Arwick, the Marquis Grand...
I'll look up at that, I'm like, the fuck?
Let's see how many casual slips I can give in there to that you won't realize are not what it said.
Oh boy. One of these things is not like the other.
The Marquis' grandfather and the eminent explorer, should have been part of her daughter's dowry for her marriage to the Duke of Newcastle, of White Castle. So I am going to place a simple question. Should we not, in all open-mindedness, ask ourselves if the necklace was not simply and deliberately exchanged for a fake by Mr. Holmes himself? I am aware, dear readers, that the brutality of this question, without any preconceptions, may certainly shock some of you. What really shocks me is
How long is this?
What really shocks me is your lack of periods, but excessive use of commas. In case you didn't notice, the comma, chameleon.
Amelia.
But
Now I have an earworm.
the facts are there, and our thoughts and judgments should not be confused with the regard with which we all share for the famous detective. It is not the first time the Globe Explorer has expressed its reservations as to Sherlock Holmes's methods. Do not forget our counter-investigation into the escape of Arsène Lupin, the Frenchman who took malignant pleasure in tarnishing the image of our royal family, and who, by lucky chance, managed to elude capture by Mr. Holmes. I feel like I was degrading into a Wilfred Wolf sash.
I think you did. Good, bro. Good.
Yes. All right. Okay. At the time, we did not hesitate to consider the tacit complicity on the part of the latter. For those who are familiar with Mr. Holmes, it is quite apparent that his character traits show more of the opportunist and brilliant usurper than that of the altruistic defender of the law. I would draw the attention of our readers to the suggestion that the description of this gentleman provided by his friend Dr. John Watson through his stories is a long way from the truth. Indeed, that his behavior is derisive, contemptuous, haughty, and offensive towards the police, and in particular towards Inspector Baines. I want to do this accent now, apparently. What is that guy?
I'm just flabbergasted by how much fucking language they're using right now.
Flabbergasted? Don't you mean, flummoxed?
Maybe.
Oh, let's see, where was I? I went too far. Where did I go? There it is.
No.
But what was that guy's name? The guy who sounds like that?
I'm lost now.
I think I've lost the accent now, but someone will know. Someone will know. Anywho, replacing Inspector Lestrade, or as I wanted to say, Lestrade, who is currently convalescent. What the fuck? And his...
That's not very nice.
These are some weird words they use, I just gotta say.
Very weird words.
Oh, geez. They're trying to say that, getting rid of the giant parentheses, haughty and offensive towards the police, and a habitual abuser of narcotics such as heroin and cocaine. Pardon?
That is what Sherlock is known for.
What?
I'm not joking.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Since when? I didn't know that.
He's literally he abuses drugs quite frequently.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well then, I guess that part did.
That's why BBC's Sherlock is so accurate.
Oh. Well.
Because he's literally doing coke, like, all the time.
Well then. Anywho, this is why, dear readers, it is important to disregard Sherlock Holmes's good reputation in order to form an objective opinion, and to ask the pertinent questions. Was the necklace that Holmes found already a fake? If that is the case, why did he not mention it? And why should he insist on placing it back within the safe himself? I'm pretty sure that was because he showed it to the owner and he said, I stare at this for hours and I know it's the right one.
Mm-hmm.
Just a hunch. But I think that was the reason.
I think the Globe is a little biased.
I think the Globe Explorer might be a little too exploring a little far. He's they're reaching here for
Fake
a story.
News.
It's fake news, guys. It's fake news. Don't believe it. Has the detective some unsavory interest in this affair? Or is it a simple case of deceit in order to steal the extraordinary salmon necklace? It is up to you, dear readers, to form your own opinions, but you can count upon your humble servant to continue revealing to the public the doubtful methods and motivations of one who in the future I shall not hesitate to call Sherlock Holmes the Usurper. To be continued, O'Farley. No, it says J. Jonah Jameson. I don't know what you're talking about.
It is Jonah Jameson, yeah.
Yeah. The ancestry of Prince Woodville recognized. Since it's in all caps. The Lord's Committee. The Lord? God? Church?
No, the Lord, Lord is a title of a royal.
That is true. I was too busy thinking of God and, like, Billy Lord.
That's hilarious because you're agnostic.
Well, it's more of a non-theist, but, you know.
Oh, you're an atheist?
Non-theist.
But I don't know what that means.
It means I don't give a shit if there is one. He could exist, he could not exist, it doesn't affect me.
That is fair.
Because while I'm alive, unless he fucking talks to me, it doesn't do anything for me.
Well, I talk to them on the regular basis, so.
I don't.
I do.
I don't. And until one of them manifests in front of me and I decide that it's not a hallucination.
That's fair. I constantly think I'm hallucinating, so.
I mean, you could be, technically.
Except the information I get is valid.
Well, but I was gonna say, technically, just because you're hallucinating doesn't mean it's not real. It could be, like, if your gods are actually a thing, then they could be giving you hallucinations.
True.
So
pretty sure Dionysus does that on the reg.
So I'm just saying, like, you could be having a hallucination and it could, but also could not still be a thing, you know? Oh,
pretty
back.
sure Dionysus does that on the reg.
That happens. Alright. So the Lord's Committee, set up in order to verify Prince Woodville's legitimacy, made its conclusions public last night. Without surprise, the prince's title was confirmed. As rumors suggested, in return of the unfavorable opinion by the committee, the prince would have abandoned any claim to the inheritance of the present royal family, as well as any political activity.
Is this reading simulator?
That's what the first one was, so yeah. But also, just so anyone is wondering, I have found over the years that it's way easier for me to read for some reason when I speak in an accent. Just so you know.
That's fair. I write better when I act it out, so.
Well, that makes sense. Alright. This is the last page, finally. The young man, now aged 28, read history and law at Oxford, why do I care, with a diploma in philosophy. He spent most of his childhood in France, where he acquired a considerable knowledge in the culinary arts. For those who might think... For those who might think this is a handicap when integrating into British high society, let me remind you that he is also an outstanding on the polo field. And he plays the
Ramsay?
and he plays the bagpipes quite beautifully.
Gordon Ramsay?
Finally, we should add that lately he has become actively involved in the culinary work and aiding the poor.
Gordon Ramsay. I'm not fucking joking, bro.
I am, though, because I said culinary instead of charity.
I don't care. Still Gordon Ramsay.
Prince Woodville, French culinary expert and bagpipe player, might be our next king. That's not so shocking, my dear fellow.
You know exactly to which article I'm referring to. How can Farley dare to tarnish your reputation like that?
You know, Watson, that wherever glory walks, jealousy is bound to follow. As for the forgery of the necklace, I suspect that we shall soon be enlightened in this regard.
Is that a dog in game?
The door's open.
I don't think so, but it could have been.
Because it did not sound
Mr.
like
Holmes.
your dogs.
How did you know I was here?
You
I'm
are
not sure.
one of our
I couldn't really hear it.
Who avoids the second to last step.
It sounded like a tiny
which
dog
creaks
yapping.
dreadfully. And if I had the clinking of
I don't know.
handcuffs at your belt, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit, Inspector?
Have you read that, Rag?
Like, both of your dogs are like bellowing kind of dogs.
What should I talk about, slander or the necklace?
Probably the necklace.
Inspector,
Keep things
I assume that you have the fake
chill.
necklace with you. It's why you're here. Your superiors would like me to examine it.
Indeed. They would like you to confirm or deny putting this fake
God,
in the
that
box.
music is so
Can't
fucking
that wait?
foreboding.
I must go to the house of Lord Peregrine Maitland, the Bishop of Knightsbridge.
Okay, I guess I have to talk about both. Okay.
Inspector, can you explain this slander? Has the necklace of the Samoas really been replaced by a fake? I don't know how the reporter got hold of the information, but it's true. About the necklace, of course. I wouldn't permit myself to question the integrity and honesty of Mr. Holmes. The necklace is a forgery? Impossible! I saw the Marquis authenticated before my very eyes, before Holmes
Poor
returned it
fingies.
to its place. Mr. Holmes, the Marquis believes Osmond Farley's theory. I shouldn't be surprised if the reporter isn't behind all this slander about you. He's a freelancer, well known for his explosive
you're
and
fine.
subjective
What is your
articles.
problem?
In any case, the Marquis assures us that you were the last person to have the necklace in your hands. Let's return to the Marquis's house, Holmes. I'm sure that we'll have no trouble in taking apart this theory.
It is unnecessary. Such allegations collapse on their own, like one of Mrs. Hudson's soufflés. Let us leave the police to solve this problem and turn our attention to the matters in hand.
Perhaps you are right, Holmes.
Happening?
Watson said that we should go back to, help put an end to the slander. And Holmes was just like, nah. This is one of the things that'll just deflate on its own. Like, one of Mrs. Hernandez's, or whatever the fuck her name was, is soufflés.
Oh. That's sad.
And I'm just like, wow, really putting this lady on blast for her bad soufflés.
Wait, are we talking about the lady that owns the house?
I don't know. I'm not sure whomst. I think that was just a random side character he was throwing under the bus. Alright, let's talk about the Marchianus. Or the March Ionus.
Well.
Yes. Or the Marchiness.
And the Marchioness.
She is beside herself.
Sounds like she's
Without
from
the necklace,
Mars.
the marriage is compromised. It is the principal item of the young
And to me,
woman's
it sounds
power.
like you're saying Mars anus.
What a lovely marriage.
Well then.
Oh, by the way, the Mars lander landed.
Yes, I saw. It did the thing that is in its name. It landed.
It landed.
Holmes, forgive me for
It survived
insisting,
entry.
but don't you want to examine the
Yay.
jewelry?
Watson, I have an appointment, and it's out of the question that I arrive late.
It will only take you a couple of minutes. You really must quell the suspicions put forward in this appalling article.
What kind of
If you'll
breading
allow
you
me,
put on this?
Inspector,
So yummy.
be my guest.
Very well.
I just gotta say, the fact that Sherlock is so, like, against Watson looking at the necklace makes me feel like he did it.
Right?
I'm just like, it's not gonna take you very long to go to this place. Just do it. Well, this one looks fucked up.
This pearl is a different color.
It sure is, and there's 3 of them up here.
These
That's
3
wrong.
pearls are of poor quality.
They sure are. What about this one? No? Okay. No?
This pearl is too small. It is not in its place here.
Sure.
Too many defects. This necklace is a fake.
Yeah, that's
This
pretty
is nothing
obvious.
but a vulgar copy, and at a glance it would appear that the forger has intended for it to be seen as such.
How could we have been fooled by such a blatant imitation? I don't understand.
Yes, how is it possible? Holmes, do you have a theory about this?
I have absolutely no idea. You insisted that I examine the necklace, and I have done so. Now it is important that I keep my appointment. I'm sure, Inspector, that you will throw some light on this affair.
Holmes.
You may accompany me,
bacon.
Watson, if you care to do so.
Goodbye, gentlemen. I'll keep you informed as to my inquiries.
Goodbye, Inspector.